Yo, what's up, Broncos country? How's it going tonight, guys? This is Eddie with Rocky Mountain Blitz, and today I wanted to make this video, you know, for the Broncos schedule because, as we all know, the 2024 NFL schedule got released today, and everybody finally got to see, the Broncos 2024 schedule. What games are at home. We already knew who they were playing. We knew what teams were going to be on the Broncos schedule this year, but now we know the days, we know what weeks, we know where they're going to play them, and all this and that. And actually, the schedule got leaked about a couple hours even before they actually announced the NFL schedule. So, but with that said, let's get into this. So, week one, which was like the main one that got leaked by the Broncos like 2 days ago, was that the Broncos are going to go to Seattle again for the second time in 3 years and play the Seahawks. Um, Now this game ain't really that big of a deal as it was a couple of years back. Whenever we traded for Russell Wilson that offseason, it was like a lot of emotion for Russ going into that game. It was a big game for the simple fact that Russ was going back to Seattle in the Broncos uniform, and we all know how that turned out. It wasn't great for the Broncos. We had a buffoon of a head coach that didn't know how to use his timeouts and sent out our kicker to kick a 64, 65-yard field goal to try to win the game. So it didn't work. And that was just bad. But this year, um, I think it's going to be better. Hopefully, we'll just see what happens. So we'll go, let's just see what happens there. Week two, this is the first big game of the season for the Broncos, in my opinion. Week two, the Pittsburgh Steelers come to Denver, and it is the return of Russell Wilson in the Mile High City after the Broncos cut him this offseason and he signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the game I'm really looking forward to. In years past, I was always looking forward to the Chiefs game, try to end that streak. Well, we ended that last year. So, as much as I still like watching the Broncos play the Chiefs, this year, the big game for me is the Steelers game, them coming to Denver with Russell Wilson. So with that said, that's the big game this year, and that's the one game I am for sure going to this year is the Steelers game whenever they come here to Denver in week two. I'm excited about it. Like, not that I'm gonna boo Russell Wilson or nothing, but I am gonna be there whenever Bo Nix and Sean Payton, prove what the problem was in Denver last year. So I'm excited. I'm ready for that one. Week three, we are going to Tampa Bay and playing the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. Now, this one, once again, not really a whole lot to say about it. I mean, it's not like a high stakes game. It ain't like, oh, Russ is returning to, Denver or anything like that. So this one is not that big of a deal. I personally, I think it's just going to be fun to watch. This should be like, honestly, in my opinion, a lot of people think the Steelers game is the real test, but as long as Russell Wilson's, their quarterback, sorry, but to me, that's no test. Um, I think it's Seattle more of a test at this point than I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a test. But even with that said, you know, they're still a good team, but they have better players, they have a better defense. Honestly, they got a better quarterback, in my opinion, than the Steelers or the Seahawks do. So that game, whatever. Week four, we stay on the East Coast. We're in Tampa Bay week three. Week four, we go up to New Jersey to play the Jets. Now, this one does have some storylines behind it. We went, the Jets came here last year and played us, with the return of Nathaniel Hackett to Denver. And a lot of the smack that Sean Payton talked, you know, during the offseason last year, talking about how Hackett did the worst coaching job in NFL history. And then we get to week five here in Denver against the Jets, and everybody knows how that ended. But honestly, if you watch that game, if you're a diehard Broncos fan like myself, and you watch that game against the Jets last year, you know it wasn't Sean Payton that cost us the game. It was Russell Wilson. Like, they were driving. We were in that game. We were down by 3 points, 21-24, and we literally were driving, and Russell Wilson did a Russell Wilson thing and bailed out of the pocket, instead of just checking it down to the flat, to the wide open running back, tries to run out, gets stripped, from behind, and the Jets pick it up and score a touchdown and win the game. So that game has got some stakes to it this year, honestly. This year, like I said, Sean Payton's got his quarterback of the future. This game means a lot. Uh, what's up, Michael? Evening to you, Big E Bronco. What's up, man? Nice to see you. Uh, anyway, but yeah, so Jets game, that's a big one for me personally. I hope we beat Hackett this year. And with the reports that came out a few weeks ago about the Jets trying to, pretty much replace Nathaniel Hackett during the season last year, because they realize how bad he is. So that should be a good game. Week 5. This is where I think the streak against the Raiders ends personally. Um, we're at home against the Raiders week 5, and there's no reason now that Sean Payton has his quarterback. This record should end. The Broncos have no excuse why they should not beat the Raiders in Week 5 at home. Like we should have beat them last year in Week 1, but it is what it is. Like it was the start of the season. We didn't really play that great, so but yeah, Raiders Week 5. That's where the streak ends. Personally, for me. Week 6 against the Chargers at Denver. Another good game. Now, this is the game. Excuse me. This is the game to me. The Chargers, even with Justin Herbert, ever since they drafted him, we either sweep the Chargers or we split with the Chargers every year. And this year, I still think it's the same. We split with them, but with that said, this is going to be a different Chargers team than we've seen in, years past. Jim Harbaugh out there running things now. They're going to be running the ball, which I'm really hoping Denver's defense, steps up this year. One of the things that Denver's defense has been really bad at over the years is stopping the run. And that's what Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers are going to do. They're going to run the ball. So hopefully we get, we are able to stop them this time and, just get a win. Now, week 7, our first of 2 primetime games, which is us going to New Orleans and playing the Saints. This is another big game, not because it's a primetime game, our own, one of the 2 that we have this year, but it's the fact that Sean Payton is returning to New Orleans. This is going to be a high-profile game. A lot of people, I think, are going to be watching this game, seeing what, seeing Sean Payton back in New Orleans next to the Saints, playing the Saints. Can he beat his old team? All this and that, where everything going there. So that's going to be a really high profile game. I'm excited to see it, so that's going to be an exciting game. Week 8 against the Panthers here in Denver. Like, unless Bryce Young, which I personally like, all the reports that came out over the offseason with David Tepper, he's kind of like a Jerry Jones-esque, like he's kind of meddling with the team. Like, I don't think the Panthers are going to be very good. I like Bryce Young. I think the kid could be a stud, but I just think he went to a really bad situation. The Panthers are a laughable franchise. They're David Tepper, like he's too meddlesome. Like that team's not going to win with him running things. They're really not. And this, to me, it should be a good game, but we'll wait and see. Week 9, we're at the Ravens. Now, this is kind of where, the schedule starts getting a little tougher. In Baltimore against the Ravens, one of the 2 teams that was in the AFC Championship game last year. This game is going to be brutal, honestly, I think. It's not going to be easy. It's an East Coast game, so I don't like this game. I really don't. The very next week, we have the Chiefs in Kansas City. Now, defending Super Bowl champs, division rival, like this one, I don't like either. Like it's a very bad, because this is right in the middle of the season. The Chiefs are probably going to be, fighting for the 1 seed, so they're going to be playing hard. This is just going to be a very, very difficult game for the Broncos, and plus it's in Kansas City, so I can't really say too much on that. Week 11, we got the Falcons here in Denver. Now that one, I'm a little bit more, you go through a gauntlet of 2 games against, top tier, teams in the AFC, and the Ravens at Baltimore, and then the Kansas City Chiefs at Kansas City. You come home, you play the Falcons. Yes, I understand Kirk Cousins. I understand their offense is really good. They got a bunch of weapons, but their defense is not good. They really didn't address it too much. the pick of them picking Michael Penix in the first round, whenever they should have took some kind of a defensive player, whether if it was Verse, Latu, Turner, or even Quentin Mitchell. Like if they would have took a defensive player, I would have been a little bit more like, okay, this team is set. But yeah, they have an offense, but their defense is just hot trash. And honestly, if Bo Nix and Sean Payton by week 11 are humming together and they're playing as good as we think they're going to be and how well they're going to work together, this offense in Denver is going to be really, really freaking good, I think, by week 11. So week 12, we're at the Raiders. Now, I hate to say it, the Raiders have had our number over the last couple of years. You know, I can't really say that we're going to sweep them this year. Like I believe we will go 1-1 against the Raiders, but in Las Vegas, I don't see us beating them, even with Gardner Minshew or whoever their other quarterback is, Aiden O'Connell. Like they still got Devontae Adams, they still got Max Crosby. Like it's just, I can't really say much more about that. Week 13 is our second primetime game. It is against the Browns here in Denver. Now, as you know, last year the Broncos played the Browns here in Denver, and we destroyed them. Granted, they had like a third string quarterback playing back there, and this wasn't like the Deshaun led Browns, or this wasn't even the Joe Flacco led Browns that were really kicking some butt at the end of the season last year. The Browns came to Denver and we just annihilated them. Like, I mean, we absolutely destroyed them 29-12. So, you know, I don't know how it's going to look this year with the Browns. They could be good, they could be bad. Who knows? Uh, Week 14, finally, we get a bye, we get a break, and it's a short bye because I'm pretty sure, yeah, because we play the Browns Monday night. And then, I think our next game is on a Sunday in week 15. So it's going to be a short bye. I think it's only like 13 days or 12 days or something like that. So it's going to be a short bye week. And honestly, this is the latest bye week the Broncos have had in like 20 years. Usually they have a bye week right in the middle of the season, like week 8, week 9, maybe even week 10. But week 14, I'm pretty sure that's the last week of the year that teams get byes. And that's going to be our bye this year. Colts here in Denver, week 15. Joe Flacco's there, but I'm thinking Anthony Richardson's going to be back. I like the kid. I think he's a stud, but that defense, I'm not too worried about their defense, and they don't really have a whole lot of weapons. I mean, they did draft who was it? Did they draft Latu, I think, this year? The Colts did, or was it Turner? They drafted one of those guys, a pass rusher. So that's somebody we might have to look out for. Um, Week 16 at the Chargers, like I said earlier, I believe we split with the Chargers. With Jim Harbaugh there, I think they're going to be a lot harder team to beat this year than they were in previous years. So we'll see there. Week 17 at Bengals. Joe Burrow, as long as he's there and he's healthy this year, I think the Bengals are going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. It's going to be really hard for the Broncos to walk into Cincinnati and I think walk out with a W. And they're going to be hungry this year. They missed the playoffs last year because Joe Burrow got hurt. He was out. So it's going to be really, really hard, I think, for the Broncos to walk into Cincinnati and beat them, unless Sean Payton and Bo Nix by season's end, they're just humming together. They're popping. They're going off like crazy. That's the only way I can see us beating Cincinnati in Cincinnati, but we'll see. And then week 18 to close out the season, we got the Chiefs. Now this one, a lot of people were talking about, the Chiefs by week, week 18, the Chiefs could already have, the 1 seed, the 2 seed or something, already have their playoff spot locked up. They could probably be resting their starters week 18. So this is good for the Broncos. This could mean that, the Chiefs are resting their starters week 18, and it's going to be, I wouldn't say playing the Chiefs is never easy, but it's not going to be as hard as if it's Patrick Mahomes out there playing with Travis Kelce and their defensive starters. So, but now I'm going to go through the games again, and I'm going to tell you which games I think we're going to win. This is going to be my score, my prediction on the year, what games we're going to lose and what games we're going to win. So here we go. Week 1 against the Seahawks, I think we take the dub. Honestly, I think we go up to Seattle. Yes, I understand it's one of the loudest stadiums. It's really hard to win up there. I understand all that. But the Seahawks got a brand new rookie head coach. Geno Smith kind of took a step back last year. I'm not really terrified of their defense. I think their defense is going to take a step back now that Pete Carroll's gone. I think the Broncos win a close game, and I think they walk out of there with a dub. Week 2, Steelers, here in Denver, Russell Wilson, like with what we've seen with Russell Wilson the last couple of years, I have no problem saying this is a dub too against the Steelers. Home opener against the Steelers week 2, it's a dub. Like Russ is going to do a Russ thing, and he's probably going to fumble the ball at the end of the game. Broncos defense is going to pick him off or something. He's going to be careless with the ball. Broncos are going to pick it up, run it in for a touchdown or get a strip and end the game or something. So that's what I think. So right now we're 2-0. That's what I got. Week 3 at the Bucks. This is where I think we take our first L. September in Tampa Bay. It's hot. Baker Mayfield, I think, is still a good quarterback. Like, I don't think people give him enough credit. Their defense is still good. They still got some good weapons. They still get a good tackle and Wharfs. I think the Broncos take their first loss here. Week 4 at the Jets. This one I was kind of on, but I hate to do this, but I think the Broncos take another loss here. Aaron Rodgers, back by week 4, I think he's going to be better unless he gets hurt again. Like if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt or he's can't play week 4, then I would probably flip my pick on this. But with Aaron Rodgers, all them weapons, the defense is being as good as it is. And the fact that they beat us at home last year, granted, yes, I put that on Russell Wilson. He's no longer here, but still, I can't see us going into New Jersey with Aaron Rodgers if he's playing good and getting a dub there. So I have a loss there. So right now I got the Broncos sitting at 2-2. Week 5 here in Denver against the Raiders. This is where we snap the streak. We beat the Raiders here in Denver. We finally end that streak. We ended Kansas City's last year. This year we end the Raiders. Week 5 here in Denver. I think, honestly, I don't think it's even going to be close. I think Bo Nix is going to outplay Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, whoever the starter is for the Raiders. That's my pick. So right now I got us at 3-2. Week 6 against the Chargers, another dub. I do believe that we will beat the Chargers at home. Because like I said, we always play with the Chargers. Yes, I understand Jim Harbaugh. They're probably going to try to run the ball, but until the Chargers prove that they can sweep us or beat us consistently, I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to beat them week 6 here in Denver. It's going to be the same old story. And plus, I think everybody with Jim Harbaugh, they're still going to be getting used to everything. So I got a dub week 6 against the Chargers. Week 7, Monday Night Football in New Orleans against the Saints. Sean Payton returns home. Now, a lot of people are talking about, Sean Payton's going to get a loss here. I don't think so. I think the Broncos take this. I think they beat the Saints, honestly, because we played the Saints a few years back in the COVID year, and we had a running back and quarterback, and we kept that game close. And that was without a freaking quarterback, man. And, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name, the head coach for Dennis Allen. I don't like him. Like, I don't think he's that good of a head coach. I think the Broncos, Sean Payton goes in there and he walks all over him. So week, let's see, what's the next one we got? Week 8, Panthers here in Denver. That's another dub. Like I said, I don't trust David Tepper. I really don't. He's too meddlesome. Like, he's not gonna. The Panthers ain't gonna win nothing. I like Bryce Young. I feel bad for the kid because he's in that horrible situation in Charlotte. But it's just terrible for him, dude. I can't see us. I just can't see it. I can't. I'm sorry. David Tepper meddling, it's not going to work. And plus, I didn't really do much this year. Let's see. Week 9 at the Ravens. I hate to say this, but that's a loss. Right? Ravens. I think they're angry about last year about losing in the AFC Championship game, even though it was their fault. They just didn't run the ball well. So I don't think we're going to beat the Ravens in Baltimore. I honestly don't. Lamar Jackson, I'm pretty sure, didn't he win MVP last year? So I don't think that we're going to beat the Ravens at their house. Week 10 against the Chiefs in Kansas City, another L. So I don't see us beating Kansas City in their house. Patrick Mahomes and them, right? Like I said, middle of the season, they're going to be on fire. They're going to be trying to lock up the 1 seed. it's not going to bow well for Denver in Kansas City week 10. So I got the Broncos taking an L there. Week 11, here at home against the Falcons. Now, this to me screams win because, like I said, I understand Kirk Cousins. I understand, the offense is going to be really, really good, but their defense, if Bo Nix is what we think he's going to be, and we think Sean Payton and Bo Nix are going to be, there's no reason why we don't beat the ever living snot out of the Falcons. They have no defense, so I got to win here. I'm pretty sure that's up to 7 wins on the year, and mind you, we had 8 wins last year with Russ. And honestly, one of those wins wasn't even him. We got 7 wins with Russ. I think this year with Bo Nix, a guy that Sean Payton handpicked and that runs his system good, fits his system, we're at 7 wins right now, and it is week 11. Week 12 at the Raiders, another loss. I said this before and I will say it again. We will split with the Raiders this year. We will snap the streak, but that will be in Denver when we snap that streak. I don't see us walking into Las Vegas because, like I said, Vegas has had our number over the last couple of years. So just getting a win, ending the streak, that's a plus. And I think that ends in week 5 against the Raiders here at home. Week 12, in Las Vegas, L. Monday Night Football against the Browns. Now, this one, it was really, 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 really hard for me to decide on this one. But since I had to pick, I'm gonna say W here. I honestly think that I think we beat the Browns Monday Night Football. We beat them last year. It was, we destroyed them here in Denver. Yes, I said before, they did have, they had a bunch of backup guys in there at quarterback, but I don't think that matters. That defense was supposed to be really, really good. And I'm not going to say that they're not because they are. But Russell Wilson made them look like little kids out there. I mean, 29 points. Granted, the defense helped out a lot, but I still don't, even with Deshaun Watson, I don't think Deshaun Watson's that great, honestly. I don't. I think he's been really bad since he's came back to football, and I think our defense is going to eat in Denver, and I think Bo Nix is going to light up the sky against that defense. So week 15 versus the Colts here at home, that's another dub. So it's the Colts. I think Anthony Richardson missing the whole season last year. I believe, I just don't think he's going to be ready to go. I like Shane Steichen. I think he's a good head coach and or offensive caller anyway. So, but that's what I think. I think that I don't see the fact that the Colts are going to beat us. Yes, Anthony Richardson, but their defense is still not that good. I don't like it. And once again, late in the season like this, winter time, what is that? December, I believe. Sean Payton's probably gonna be running the ball, cold weather, run the ball, keep the ball out of the rookie quarterback's hand, don't let him make mistakes, and keep it, the game simple for him. Week 16 at Chargers, another L. We're not beating like I said, we're gonna split with the Chargers. We beat them at home, we lose in Los Angeles. Now last year we swept them. We beat them in Denver and we beat them in Los Angeles, but I think Jim Harbaugh at least gets them 1 win against the Denver Broncos. I do. I honestly do. I like Jim Harbaugh. I mean, we were hyping the guy up last year. We were looking for a head coach. He was on a lot of people's list. He was like the main guy. He was the number 1 for most people. And I think he's going to bring that same energy that he had in Michigan and that everybody thinks everybody thinks he is. He's going to bring that to the Chargers. And I think they, tie with the Broncos. They split with the Broncos this year. And that's a win. Week 17 at the Bengals, that's a loss. I said it before. I just don't. If Joe Burrow is healthy and he's playing, and the Bengals are as good as they have been with Joe Burrow, they're going to be competing for a playoff spot. And we're against them at home, at their house. I don't see us winning that game. I don't. Unless Joe Burrow, for some reason, gets hurt. I'm not saying I want him to, even to help the Broncos. I never wish injury on any player, not even Patrick Mahomes, who I hate. But unless Joe Burrow goes down with an injury, I don't see the Broncos winning here. It's just not possible. And maybe if by some stroke of luck, So, but yeah, gotta know there. Week 18 against the Chiefs. Like I said, the Chiefs at this point are probably going to have their playoff spot locked up, regardless if it's the 1 seed, 2 seed, wherever they're at. They're going to have it locked up. And I think they're going to be resting their starters. So I got a dub here for the Broncos. Week 18 in Denver against Kansas City, most likely resting their starters because they already got their playoff position locked down. They're going to be resting their starters. Broncos take this and close out the season with a dub. Now, with my prediction so far, I'm pretty sure I got the Broncos sitting at 10-7. I do believe that's good enough. Like the Broncos won 8 games last year with Russell Wilson, who had good numbers, but if you watch any Broncos games, he was terrible. Like a lot of the games were lost due to his inept ability to hang on to the ball, extend plays, or not even really extend plays, just make a play. You know, so he was, Sean Payton with Russell Wilson was good for 7 wins last year, and Jared Stidham got the other one. Between Jared Stidham and Russell Wilson, Sean Payton got 8 wins out of this team, which is more than what we did in the previous year, which was 5 wins with Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson. I think if Bo Nix is the guy that Sean, we know Sean Payton wanted Bo Nix, but if everything is true about what everybody's been saying, Bronco fans, media, that Bo Nix is the perfect fit for Sean Payton's offense. He is, he's Sean Payton's type of quarterback. He's a Drew Brees-esque. If that is true, I believe Sean Payton and Bo Nix together is worth another 3 wins from last year. I believe it's worth an additional 3 wins. Because I'm sorry, 2 wins. 2 wins, that's even better. Because if you can get at least 1 win out of Jared Stidham, you get 7 out of a aging Russ that was literally bailing out of the pocket, not taking the plays that were there that Sean Payton was calling. And if the report that came out a couple of weeks ago is true, that they literally had to dumb down the playbook to 2 words only for us to understand it. And Bo Nix is, if everything we've heard from Sean Payton, from media, whatever, that Bo Nix is a good processor. He took Sean Payton's playbook and he read it. He knew it to a T. He aced the test. He's good at throwing on time, pocket. He's good in the pocket. Timing routes, precision, accuracy. If all that is true, I do believe Sean Payton with Bo Nix is an additional 2 wins this year. I think the Broncos go 10-7. And now the question is that good enough to get into the playoffs for the Broncos? Maybe it is. But with the AFC the way, but like last year, everybody had all their teams locked. The 7 teams that were going to make the playoffs. And I can't remember if the Broncos were one of them, but like you got 7 playoff spots in the AFC. The Chiefs are probably going to make it. The Bills probably will still make it. The Bengals, the Ravens. Every year it seems like the Steelers somehow squeeze in. The Texans, the Jaguars, possibly maybe the Chargers this year. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a team in there somewhere. I said Jacksonville, Texans. I'm sure I'm forgetting a team in there somewhere. I think I am. But with all that said, Miami. That's another one who could probably still be good and make the playoffs. So there's like 10 teams right there, like that could be right in that 10-7, 11-6 range to where maybe the Broncos could squeeze in, but maybe they get 10 wins and they still don't make it, but I feel pretty good about that. I'd say 10-7. I honestly believe, because I do believe like everything that's came out, like Bo Nix is sharp whenever it comes to reading the playbook. He knows, he can run Sean Payton's offense to a T. He's very smart, high IQ, accurate, precision, timing. I do believe all that. So to me, Sean Payton with Bo Nix, even with a rookie, and some people were talking about him maybe even winning Rookie of the Year. If all of that's true, which I believe it is, I believe that's an addition worth 2 wins this year from last year with Russell Wilson and Jared Stidham, in my opinion. So 10-7, that's where I got the Broncos. They're going to go 10-7 this year, is my opinion. That's where I think they're going to wind up. Now, once again, is that good enough to get them into the playoffs? I don't know. A lot of good teams in the AFC this year, actually every year. So it's going to be really hard. Like, I don't know, honestly. I think if Joe Burrow stays healthy all year, I think Like the only reason why I think the Ravens won their division last year was because Joe Burrow was out. Joe Burrow would have been healthy all year last year. I believe the Bengals win that division. That's just the way I feel about it. Kansas City most likely going to win our division. I think the Texans win their division. Then I think I'm kind of, and that's the other one too. Jets. I don't know, man. I think maybe I don't know. I have a funny feeling the Jets are going to win their division this year. I know a lot of people don't like that, but they have a stellar defense. Robert Sala's, on that side of the ball, a stellar defense. I understand Hackett, but Aaron Rodgers is going to go call his own plays. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I think the Jets can win that division. Honestly, now that Stephon Diggs is out of, Buffalo, I don't know. And Tua, I don't know, man. I have a feeling the Jets are going to win that division. I just got that feeling. So with all that said, like I said, 10-7, it could possibly be good enough to get us in the playoffs. Is it going to 100%? Probably no. I don't know. It just there's a lot of factors. Like if Joe Burrow goes down again, Aaron Rodgers goes down again, that could open up 2 playoff spots. Patrick Mahomes goes down. Like any quarterback at any given time could go down. Even Bo Nix. Like I'm not saying I want any of these quarterbacks to go down. Knock on wood. But something like that, like a big time quarterback like a Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Tua, one of those guys go down, that opens a door for another playoff spot to open. Now, will the Broncos be able to take it? Maybe. So, a lot of good things. The schedule today got released, man. I gave you guys my predictions. I think the schedule, like if I remember right, I seen it a couple days ago. The Broncos have like the 4th or 5th easiest schedule this year. Like the only teams that they're really, playing against that are like really, really, really good, like I'd say elite teams would be probably, the Bengals if Joe Burrow is healthy, Kansas City, of course, and Baltimore. The rest of them, it's up in the air. I mean, and I could be wrong. The Broncos could lose more games. They could go 9-8. They can go 8-9 again, like they did last year. Or, who knows? Maybe Bo Nix pops off and he's like CJ Stroud last year. Maybe the Broncos win 11, 12 games. I mean, I don't think I don't think it's going to happen, but it is possible. Anything's possible in the NFL. I'm not going to say it's not, but for right now, I'm sitting at 10-7. That's my prediction. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what your guys' score predictions are, please. Big E, thank you for keeping up with all that. I really appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, put your guys' score predictions and what do you guys think of the schedule in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe on this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.